That's my intro. That's the intro for this week. The Jets have won their second game in a row for the first time since December of last year. Hi, I'm Belmont Bunch, and welcome back to my channel, Belmont Bunch. Today we're talking about the Jets. The Jets have won against the Cleveland Browns in a game, once again, that you go into kind of rooting against them if you're really looking towards the draft. I was very prepared for Jacksonville to be losing. But knowing then that Pittsburgh had beaten the Colts, I was just rooting for the Jets at that point. This franchise is bereft of wins, and you got to take them where you can get them. And it was pretty certain we were going to be picking second overall anyway after last week. Jacksonville is showing no signs of winning a game, and I know weird things have happened. We've seen, as Jet fans, the last 2 weeks, we've beaten teams that you would have never thought we would beat. And one of those teams had a little bit better of an excuse than another, because the Browns, despite having all their receivers out, they saw the Jets last week surprise a team. At least on the Rams, you could say, oh, they lost 40-3 against Seattle the week prior, and they showed no signs of life, and they've quit on themselves and their coach. The Browns didn't have that excuse this time because the Jets just won a game and showed a little bit of belief in themselves, as cliched as that sounds. But the defense has perked up since they fired Mr. Greg Williams, and maybe that is why Adam Gase is still here, because if we had fired Adam Gase, who knows, maybe this team would have had more belief and won a couple more games and screwed us out of the second pick as well. But hey, you got to be happy for the players. The players are going out there, they're competing, they're playing hard. No Quinnen Williams today. Guy stepped up in his place, so credit where it's due. Baker Mayfield was rattled, I think, a little bit by the pressure that the Jets were able to get, which is not something that we've been able to say a lot this year. Anyway, so Braxton Berrios gets a touchdown. Love Braxton Berrios. Even that's early in the game when I'm still kind of rooting against the Jets. I can't root against Braxton Berrios and Crowder, our two speedy receivers. What a throw. Best throw of the game by either quarterback. By either offense was by a receiver, not a quarterback. That was a dime. I know he's wide open, but he led Berrios. Crowder did. You just wish you could see that earlier in the season before the season is completely shot to hell. So that's Adam Gase once again. Kind of like last year when we start 1-7, he's like, I don't know, maybe we'll have fun now. And it's like, now? Anyway, but obviously this doesn't, let's talk about how this affects us going forward. This doesn't save Gase, obviously. Right, Johnson brothers? Let's hope that this can't save him. This can't save Adam Gase. All right, don't worry. I think it didn't. There's two people that I still think are out after this year. Adam Gase, obviously. There's more than two, but like two in this game that, despite us winning, I still think are gone. Adam Gase, obviously, because our conservative play calling, after we get that strip sack in the red zone, a touchdown puts the game away if you're Adam Gase. Just running two, up the gut runs in a row and not getting anything. And then here's where I get angry at Sam Darnold. On that third down play, at that point, so the play is broken, nobody's open, that's not Sam's fault. And I know that's been an issue for a lot of the time Sam's been here. But, buddy, this is where the football IQ comes in. And obviously, I'm not saying I could do this better, because in this situation, I probably do the same thing, because I'm a pipsqueak. I'm a pipsqueak, and I would have, I'd lose my stuff. Keeping it PG. Anyway, but he throws the ball away on third down. There's still the 2-minute warning to go. There's still a Browns timeout to go. You have saved them 2 timeouts. You've saved them a timeout. You've saved them 1 timeout because they would have had 2 with the 2-minute warning. And you've given them an extra because it's better. It's way better to take the sack there on 3rd down. And I guess you can say, it's good that he's fighting Darnold, that is. Darnold is fighting for every play he can get. But, I don't see that on a consistent basis. Earlier in the game, there was a 3rd and 10. I think it was our first drive. And it's 1 man to beat, and it's a first down for Darnold, who's begun, he starts scrambling out to his left. And it's 1 man to beat, and I know it's a linebacker, and those guys are very athletic and strong. So maybe he's worried that he'll get, stripped. Baker should have been more worried about that today. But Darnold just kind of, darts out of bounds. No attempt to get the first. He's just getting a couple yards. And I don't know. I saw that, and I was like, I don't want my quarterback of the future to just, give up on that play. I know Sam is not the most fleet of foot. He's, not averse to running when he has to. But I don't like him on that play just, ducking out of bounds and going for a punt. I want more aggressiveness out of this offense, and that's part of the reason I really want them to go with someone like Eric Bieniemy for coach next year, someone that's aggressive and can get the offense moving. So I in my opinion, I've seen, and I said it on Twitter, got some good constructive feedback of people that think the other way. I still think you got to ditch Sam. I just haven't seen anything. Even before Gase took over, under Bowles, I know Bowles wasn't an offensive coach. Well, either. Adam Gase was supposed to be, but he ended up not being. But I don't know. He showed a little bit under Bowles. I was at the Vikings game. We lost that game. But he made some good throws in that game. That's 2018. I was at the Broncos game that we won in a shootout. And he made some great throws to Robbie Anderson in that game. So maybe some of that you could put on the GM. Anderson and Darnold seem to have a pretty good connection. I was at that Cowboy game as well. I have season tickets. And that was a 90-yard touchdown to Robbie Anderson game where we got our first win last year. So, you could probably say, you could definitely say that Sam Darnold has not been given enough to play around. But then I also see, and you're going to say, play calls and stuff, not aggressive enough. Sure, I agree there. But then you see the IQ stuff, throwing into triple coverage. Adam Gase didn't tell you to throw into triple coverage. You have the play today that I just talked about, throwing it away when a sack is actually way better for you to keep running the clock. So, I don't know. I just don't see it in Darnold. And I think the only way that he could really start to get going is getting out of here, getting out of New York. I don't know if a new coach will fix that much with him. I think complete fresh start is the only way for him. And I don't think New York offers a fresh start for him, even if there's a new coach, because it's still the same fans with the same expectations. And I think he maybe needs to go the Jameis Winston route where Jameis backed up Taysom Hill or Drew Brees this year, but hopefully it goes better for that than Sam. I am still rooting for Sam. I rooted for us to win this game today after pretty much the first quarter, and I rooted for us. Obviously I'm rooting for us next week, but and by the way, I hate rooting against us. I just want to point out I don't have a Sam Darnold grievance of I don't like him. I don't like his playmaking ability. I don't think. He shows it in spurts. He made a great play when we were down 30-3 against San Francisco earlier this year for a touchdown to Berrios. But it always feels like it's after we're down by 10, 20 points. So I don't know. And I don't know how much coaching change is going to save him. And, he's got happy feet in the pocket. There was a play today where I saw him throw it away when he had no pressure on him. I don't know. If the guy's not open, the guys are not open. But, maybe you scramble for a few yards. I just don't like his decision-making. I do wish him, well if he ends up on another team next year. Because I still think he's, nice guy. Doesn't seem to say anything to, get, the fans against him or anything. And doesn't seem like the team hates him. I don't think the team rallies around him. But either way, I'm off of Darnold. As I wear his jersey, but he got the W. I mean, the defense really got the W, and Jamison Crowder. But that's the video for this week. God, Browns fans, we're both angry at this result. A little bit. I mean, I'm a little bit happy with it because, like, win is a win, and we just don't win much anymore. So when you get them, you just be like, all right. 2 straight wins against potential playoff teams. We got to see what happens with the Browns in Week 17. But, yeah, that's the video. I'm excited to be done with Jets stuff after next week and go fully back into our second season of covering the Islanders for Belmont Bunch. We're planning on having recaps of every single game, by itself, its own video for each game instead of last year's setup. And that's what I got for now. So we'll see you next time on Belmont Bunch, where we're going to start talking about hockey and predictions. So, bye.